Good morning, everyone. I'm just clearing my space with some tuning forks, some solfeggio forks. I typically use the 528 quite often, and I like to mix the 528 with some of the others. I'm using a 417. I love tuning forks and sound healing instruments. They're some of my favorite things. I'm so sensitive to all forms of frequency and music. And most humans are, even if they're not really aware to it. I mean, who listens to music and gets goosebumps? You know, how many of you that are here watch or listen to music and it really is profound? It's profound to us. We just kind of overlook it. We're just like, oh, music's something we listen to. Like, I enjoy it, but it's such a deeper thing. Like, you know, there's even scientific evidence that shows, like, if you play like really aggressive music, it affects the water molecules inside of cells. Like, and if you play like really happy, upbeat music, that also affects the cells. So one kind of more negatively and one more positively. A lot of what like energy healing is restructuring of water. Energy itself is a frequency. That's so when an energy healer does, I love to do energy healing. So when I do energy healing, what's actually happening is I'm becoming like a conductor. I see it kind of as I become aware if the person lets me into their energy field. I allow myself to feel the field, connect with the field as if it's my own. And then what I do is I start to organize. And as that energy begins to organize, sometimes the person knows and they can feel, and other times they're completely unaware. And that's my favorite. It's months down the road where they're not even sure where the change in their life has happened, but it tracks back to, hey, you know, when I got that energy alignment, that really all changed my life. So I recommend energy alignments. And if you've never had one with me, I really recommend it. I do lots of different kinds of healing. I really like energy healing. And I think that's where going to be my primary focus for a while, is working more with people's energy. I love to work with people's emotions and minds. And, you know, I'll keep doing those things. But I just really been enjoying my energy healing lately. I think it's something I get distracted from a little bit sometimes, but I really love it. Hi, Queenie. How are you? Queenie, I would love to see you in one of our weekly meetings. We have 3 weekly meetings now. And one is meditation. We did that on Sunday. The other one is manifestation. We did that last night. It's powerful. I'm still kind of integrating all the energy that happened in that group. Wonderful. And then is it tonight? I think tonight's breath work. I think it's tonight. But there's 3 classes available every week for everybody. Meditation, manifestation, breathwork, mindset, all very powerful things, especially when you put them together. Good morning, Paqos and lovely peeps. Hi, Jilly. Shifu. 1 million Buddhas. What's up, y'all? Hi, Mark. How are you? Magical Mike, my brother. Howdy. Hi, Angela. Still feeling lightheaded from last night? Well, you know, those groups are amazing and they create change. Like, just as I was talking about energy healing, when we go into these group meditations and group manifestations and group breath and mindset classes, These things alter our energy field, the energy fields of the participants. And the thing is it doesn't end just at the participants, because all is one living energy without separation. So when we come together, and I always tell the participants, the people that come in, it isn't just about you, and it's not just about us. It's a collective thing. We're a cross section of collective consciousness. And if we're working as a group, because it's the group, lots of people get trapped in, I have to do all my healing myself. You do inside of you, but collectively, we can create a collective effect. So for people who really want to help heal others and help change the world, that's where it first begins, is changing you and then bringing the medicine of which you cultivate into the group to share with the others. And then what happens is this connects into our collective energy field, or what I call the collective bubble. And that kind of spreads out into all directions, into all humanity and beyond. I may be getting too far away into esoteric. I'm going to come back. I definitely noticed from many hours delivery driving how music affects your mood. Yeah, big time. I mean, my whole life. I mean, I didn't know I was a shaman, you know. I didn't realize like these sensitivities I had that I thought were a big problem most of my life were actually just like unpolished gifts. I didn't know. But I've always been very, very sensitive to music, other people's emotions and feelings, energy, spirit. I've been able to perceive that stuff my whole life. I just kind of stuffed it down. It was like, I don't know if I understand this. And I didn't grow up in a place where I had like spiritual people to talk to. I didn't have like I always find people like that are on the path and have been in like kind of an awareness their whole life. And I ask them, was there anybody there for like, yeah, I had this one aunt that she was like into crystals and things. And I was able to connect with her. And that was helpful. I didn't have any of those. I didn't have any crystal aunts, any witches in my family. But it's also, I didn't have like connection to my extended family so much. I kind of was more just within my home. My parents are kind of shut-ins in a way. They didn't go out and do much. Didn't do much. I think it's still that way. Me too, Brianna. Feeling wide open to receive, you know. That's the greatest part about manifestation groups. They can rewire your energy field. They can change your energy field. And the work we did last night, I'm still not sure. I mean, I feel like these things keep getting more and more powerful, more and more powerful, more and more beautiful. I love them. Good morning, Mary. All right. So I do have a topic. Something popped up this morning, something I want to talk about. So I've been getting more and more people show up in my practice with a diagnosis of tinnitus, or maybe sometimes it's called tinnitus. I call it tinnitus. Okay. And this is something I've been talking about kind of from the beginning of my journey. So most of my life, on and off, I've had like bouts of like ringing in the ears. And I think at some point or another, probably in my 20s, I did talk to a physician about it, talk to them about the ringing in my ears that comes and goes. And, you know, they don't really look into it so much. They take the little scope and they look down in your ear hole and they look into your head. And then they do what they're taught to do, give you a diagnosis, right? So if you have symptoms, any sort of symptoms are diagnosable, right? Like, so that's what diagnoses are, is taking a group of symptoms and then giving them a name, an identity, and a form. So everybody kind of just agrees to, like, so when ringing in the ear starts, most people, if they don't know what to do, they go to the doctor, and a spiritually numb medical practitioner gives you a diagnosis. And with this diagnosis, tells you there's something wrong with your inner ear. There's some other explanations, but there's no actual proof. This is just them saying that. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't hearing loss, malignantly high blood pressure, things like that that will cause ringing in the ears. But the ringing I'm talking about is just a bit different. It's not like that kind. It's not like when you get hit your head and you have the ear ringing. This is more deep. This is deeper into the center of the head. What this really is vibration of the pineal gland of that third eye, the pineal gland in the center of the brain. It begins to come alive and vibrate when we connect into the quantum field, the spiritual field, the ether, the akasha. There's many words for the field of living energy. So like it's been known, it's been talked about for thousands of years. But now science kind of knows about it, and not kind of, they do. It's known. And if you follow any of the experiments at CERN, they've helped to be able to begin to prove and map more of the quantum space. But back to the ears. So the thing is when you have that kind of ear ringing, if you put your hands over your ears, what'll happen is, like mine's happening right now. So if I put my hands over my ears, I become aware it's in the center of my head. Okay. So there's a couple of things you can do. Even if you have a hearing loss type tinnitus, you still can help it. Okay. And what I did is when I started to heal, so, for those of you that don't know my backstory, I've healed myself from what the medical community deems terminal disease. I had COPD emphysema that grew into stage 4 COPD emphysema. That's the terminal stage. You're not supposed to be able to come back. So you need an oxygen tent for the rest of your time and all kinds of stuff like that. As I began to heal, it started to change my nervous system, because that's really where it started. I started to heal my nervous system through my breath, my breathing, my moving of air as moves fluid in the body. It moves the fluid. You're mostly water. You're 65% at least water. And when you begin to breathe, you begin to move the blood, the lymph, and cerebral spinal fluid, as long as also interstitial fluid. The fluids of the body begin to move. It's just like an effect that happens when you use that diaphragm. Most of us don't use our diaphragm because we're incessantly thinking. We're in anxiety most of the time. So we don't get full deep breaths. Okay. So by getting full or deeper breaths, which at first I couldn't do because I had lung disease, it was more about the movement of my diaphragm. And that movement of my diaphragm slowly but surely started to improve fluid dynamics into my brain. And as it began to heal, the tinnitus, the ringing in the ears got louder. Okay. And as I continued to work with it, the sounds grew. They began to change, because what my spiritual guidance told me is to lay down. I remember being in my lazy boy. I don't have that anymore. I used to have this lazy boy. We call it the sicky chair, because I'm sick all the time. So this was like my big oversized armchair that I'd spend a lot of time in. So I also started my meditation and breathwork journey in that chair. So I would lay out in the chair and I would start breathing, amping up my energy, and then my ringing would get louder, sometimes one ear more than the other. There's lots of ideas people have about this ear means that and this ear means this, and I don't know if that's all true. That's not how I perceive things. I started to be able to connect with the vibration of it, and then it was a form of meditation. I started to go into it. Okay, go into it. You can go into anything if you allow yourself to place your energy into something. So like most people are like, what do you mean go into it? I mean, like, that's the only way I can explain it in language. I mean, you're going to take your breath and you're going to breathe and make it more. You're going to breathe into it. Okay. We're going to do a little exercise here in a couple of minutes and go deeper. I have to blow my nose. Please excuse me. Okay. The horn works. Next, we'll be trying the lights. So I started to sit with it and it began to develop, and I started to ask it. I was asking it with my intention to develop, is what I was asking. I was inviting the sound here, and then I was saying and opening with because intention, it's intention. My intention, I was opening myself up to receive the signal, not just, most people's like, my ears ringing, it's driving me crazy. Like, I have a headache and I need it to go away. Same thing. Symptoms are messengers. You need to talk to them. Same with headaches, same with physical pain, same with chronic illness. These things are parts of you that need loving attention. Okay. So back to the tinnitus or the ringing. As I would go deeper into it, and every day I practice more and more, the frequency would begin to bend and change. And then it started to have more like a mechanical kind of robotic kind of sound to it. It had more texture and movement. And I was like, oh man, that's really interesting. But what was happening is I was tuning my nervous system to accept more of the richness of the frequency. I was tuning this instrument of mine. And as I continued to tune it, I kept to picking up more and more new frequency, more and more sound. I was like, what is that? What is that? That's coming in. It's like I had this awareness, like it feels like it's information, because after the session, I would have like awarenesses I didn't have before. It's like I was having a strong powwow with my spiritual guidance. Okay. And I was taking in something, information, like I was having a meeting that I couldn't understand in the intellectual mind. And I started using it more and more sound would develop. And then I started to receive these little, they were like little squares, like these little square tiles would come up into my eye. These would be closed eye visions. Square tiles would come up and there would be symbols on them. I couldn't tell you what the symbols are, but it's like I could tell my soul knew what they were. Like Anthony, the human mind doesn't know. The soul, the spiritual mind knows. So I was picking these things up. And then I really became aware that it was information that I was being communicated with by the higher power. And I was like, wow, because then it started to show me more things about the mind, how to heal, how society works, science, neurology, biology, chemistry, all kinds of things, spiritual teachings I've never heard of before. I just started having awareness. And this is kind of where my deep shamanism began. My connection to source showed up through my tinnitus. That's where it came. It started to vibrate into me and I started to pick it up. I continued to work with it. So now we're going 6, 7, 8 months, 9 months in, close to about a year in, is then when it started to transform and it was more like a golden ticker that moved across in my peripheral field. And then I also started to be able to become aware of it with eyes open. So these were mostly closed eye experiences. So it's still there. There's this energy, this golden line of energy, and I have to bring it into me to be able to see its little constituents. But it's like hieroglyphics in a way, or a language that I don't understand, but it's not for me to understand. It's for I to understand. So that's also the information. Like, so when I work with people, when I'm working with them healing, I can sense an energy field. I can see it, but I don't really see it with these eyes so much. It's this eye that I pick it up with. And I have several other defined energy centers in my body in which I can pick up information and energy. But I also hear. Someone will tell me something, and then as I connect into the energy field, sometimes I get confused, like, oh, that sounds, my hand will rub over their shoulder and I'll say, oh, that sounds intense. So like, sound? I didn't hear anything. Like, feels. I just say feels, because it's really a very strong sense of sound that is like a feeling. All of us have this gift, okay? Many of us experience it and have no idea what it is. So lots of people have been coming to me. More and more people have been experiencing ear ringing or tinnitus. And that's what they come like, is this tinnitus? I'm like, well, it's unlikely. From my experience, I've worked with now over 70,000 people in 48 countries in the last 5.5 years. In my experience, it's actually quite rare that it's an ear damage kind of thing. And even if it is, going into it helps you bring awareness and healing to it. Most people try to escape it. It's driving me mad. Well, listen, slow down, breathe, and feel the frequency. Be with the frequency. Then you're not opposing it. You're putting yourself in Aini, in divine balance with it. And when you're doing that, this allows the ability for healing to happen. This goes for any illness that you face, any trauma, any pain, anything that happens. The more you can bring your awareness, your calm, steady, slow breathing awareness and love into a situation, the more possibility it has to transform into something more loving. Okay. I work with a lot of people in chronic pain. A strong thing and a hard thing for people in chronic pain is to slow themselves down and go into it. I don't try to run from the pain. I go into the pain. And what we usually find out is we go into pain, it's layers of sensation on top of each other. It's not just one thing, it's many things. And if we can begin to understand the layers, we can begin to change our relationship with it. For a lot of people in chronic pain, that's all it really takes is steady awareness and practice of bringing love into the body. I've seen thousands of people change their life by using that kind of way. Now, there's more of kind of a method to it that I like to teach, but that's the general gist of it, is bringing love into the parts of you that are hurt. You can also call upon the frequency. So what I understand this is it's angelic type of communication. Most of the time when my ears are ringing, this is communication to what I perceive as angel beings or higher frequency consciousness. Means the same thing. You hear me use interchanging words. I like to take the woo and kind of make it more into a scientific kind of understanding, because we have a scientific mind here in the Western world. Everything has to be taken apart and proven. In the old world, people just called it magic. They just accepted that cool stuff happens. They didn't need all this kind of empirical proof, right? I like to see things both ways. Is it magic? Yes. I think anything that can't be explained and has some sort of result that seems miraculous is magic. I also believe that quantum physics is magic. It's amazing. All right. So who here, does anybody here have any experience with ear ringing? Let's see. Let me see. Let me go back to where I was. I did it. Oh, Brianna said I did a sound bath same night. Both of them were powerful. That was last night. Hi, Alana. Mike says, like and share, please. And thank you for feeding the gator. Thank you. Books are excellent for delivery drives. Kurt says, I've been getting a lot of ringing in my ear lately, especially my left ear. Well, I hope what I've told you can shed some light on there. Now, also, I do offer private kinds of teaching and instruction, which could be very beneficial to helping you develop that, but you don't have to. Left ear. So for me, like I said, I don't say this is for everyone. I don't believe there's any sort of cut and dry formula of how the frequency will communicate with you. For me, typically, left ear is bringing in higher vibrational consciousness. So I'm being spoken to by a higher vibrational being. My right ear is usually inner body. It's something in my body communicating to me, or a direct descendant, ancestral light. Ancestral energies comes in through the right ear. Now, there's plenty of times where I'm having a symphony through both ears, each ear having its own sound. I would say right now it's really calm. It's more like a whisper. Almost like a soft whistling's happening. So I'm very aware of it. It's with him. It's on all the time now. Like mine never stops. It never quits. I don't work in the construction field anymore to damage my ears or anything. This is all stuff that I've been able to pick up into the pineal gland, into the nervous system and brain. Proton belt. Some hear a train. I have heard a train. I love trains, by the way. I connect to the living energy. So, everything's living energy. Now, I'm glad you brought up the train. If you ever have the chance and a train is passing, even if you can't see the train and you can just hear the train, open up your hands and draw in its energy. There's so much energy to a locomotive, and not just in the physical sense, in an energetic sense, because it's moving Usually what's happening, think of all the power behind it. So it's burning or using some sort of energy to move all this weight that's moving along these tracks that men built with their bare hands. And it's carrying a load of things that has all different frequencies and vibrations. I find locomotives to be vastly powerful in terms of energy. I can draw energy from locomotives and enrich myself or share it with others. So if you ever have the chance, open yourself up to feel the locomotive. I'm telling you, you'll love it. I get the train sometimes too, normally a high pitch and sometimes a low pitch. I pray to Crom. Cool. Tell me who Crom is, Molly. Not familiar with that being. Or maybe, sometimes the same being has different names. Like there's channelers out there. Like I've been noticing more people channeling. They're all channeling kind of the same. If they're having, intellectual kind of spiritual teachings come through them. So like Eckhart Tolle, one of my favorite teachers. How does the information come to him? It's a channel. Daryl Anka, his channel, he calls it Bashar, and he goes, good day to you all. He likes to have a very much a certain kind of personality as he channels. So that's just part of his shtick. He doesn't have to be that way. He chooses to be that way. Part of his shtick of what he does. There's another guy that I've discovered recently. He's been channeling for a long time. He calls his channel Cryon. He has kind of a similar shtick to Daryl Anka, where it's almost the language is even the same, the inflections of the language. I recognize their channels because it's the same channel I have, the same channel. Most of us have the same kinds of channels. I've seen people connect to different channels. I connect to other ones as well. But these particular channels I'm very aware of, and what their possibility and capability is bringing intelligence into like emotional, spiritual, heart intelligence into humanity. It's always telling me something. It is. This is how the universe communicates with us. My left ear all the time. Okay, so what I want you to do, Alana, is I want you to start listening. Not just, hey, there's sound in my ear. Now, we'll do an exercise here. Iron something. I can't see. Is that a dog? Iron horse. Iron horse, maybe. All right, so let's do a little thing here with our ears. Okay. So the first thing I like to do is I shake out my body a little bit, okay? Because the shaking wakes up. Bed beard. Sorry, my beard's crazy. Sorry, my beard looks crazy. It always does. So we're going to shake it out. I just shake my hands out, okay? And I start to become aware of my breathing. As I'm shaking my hands, I start to become aware. Make the breathing a little deeper. And I take my hands over my head and shake. And then I shake my body. And then you let your face go. This is the fun part. You're waking up all the energy in the face. All of the lymph starts to move. Look at that. Look at his crazy beard, man. Anyways, so after you shake it out, I open the hands. I love to work with the open hands. So your palms and fingers, these all have more nerve endings than most of the rest of your body. So they're very sensitive. And if you open yourself up to them, you can begin to take in lots of frequency. My hands take in most frequency first. My hands. The other places are like my forehead, my temples, my cheekbones, my collarbones, and sometimes it's just my whole body starts to buzz and vibrate. But when hands open first, I'm going to invite here. So I'm going to invite here all of the light and living energy that's available to us. So I'm calling out to all teachers who are visible and invisible, seen and unseen. I call here all frequencies of light that are capable to bring divine teaching and wisdom to us all individually and collectively as a group. I call upon the great creator, the great God, the one living energy that is creation, to come here and bestow upon us divine light and wisdom. we are open and ready to receive. And so it's important that you place yourself energetically in a mode to receive. So you're saying, I'm open and ready to receive. And as that's happening, allow yourself, imagine you're opening yourself up. I'm just kind of unzipped my skin or my physical body, and what's happening is I'm opening up into my ethereal body, my inner body, my spirit body. And I'm calling to me all that is available. And as is happening now, the sounds in my ears have changed. My hands are vibrating. If you notice your hands, pay attention to your hand. And then what I try to do is I try to listen through my hand. Try. See if you can listen through your hand. And if you're really quiet, you're going to be able to hear that. I can hear the vibration of the spiritual energy we brought into the place. Now is where the practice begins, okay? This takes lots of practice. You're not going to usually get this the first try. The thing is you want to begin to breathe and focus your breath being deeper, and we're going to go into the head, into the pineal gland, and into the ears. So you're taking your awareness, you're taking your ideas of where your energy is moving, and you're sending it into the center of your head and your ears. Okay, we're going to begin to breathe, and breath is energy. And as I breathe in, I'm going to fill up from my tailbone and up into my head and fill up into my ears and into my pineal gland. Big breath, and I hold it there and out with a soft sigh. Let the energy drop back down you and into the tailbone. And then you reverse it and bring it back up. Up to the top of the head. Sometimes I tap the top of my head, waking up, bringing the awareness, and send the energy back down to the tailbone and back up and down. Up, down. The energy rises. The energy falls. Up. Fluid up. Fluid down. Fluid up. Into the head, into the ears, down. Energy up. Into the head, into the ears. Bring it in and down. Energy up. Let it bloom like a flower in your head and come back down your stem into your roots. From the roots to the flower head. Bloom. And bring it back. Again, flower bloom. Bring it back. And now we're going to speed it up a little. We're going to make it just a little bit faster. Three more. All your air out. Deep breath in. More. Squeeze. Now push out into the center of your head and out to your ears. Make your face red. And release. Relax. Drop into your chair. Drop into where you're at. Your hands are open. Let your breath become slow. Feel the tingling and vibration. And now by now, you may have awakened or made the tinnitus, the tinnitus. The ringing in your ear is louder. So now my left ear, my right ear has been the one mostly talking. My left ear is now talking. This is how I begin to channel. People always ask me, how do you channel? Well, it started like this. It started with me connecting to the vibration. As I connect to the vibration, I start to have visions. And I'm having a vision. There's like a cabin, and it looks like a small lake. And then there's a small like rowboat. And what's happened is the boat was upside down on the shore. I jump righted the boat, and now I'm in the boat. And it's kind of foggy. I think it's early morning. I guess I'm going fishing. It looks like I'm gonna be going fishing. I don't have a modern like fishing rod. It looks like some sort of bamboo pole. And it's got like a string and some hook and some bait on it. And I guess I'm going to be fishing. Now, what I don't try to do is figure out why am I fishing? Where am I at? Those are all the questions of the mind. I just move into experience and let that happen on its own. And now I'm bringing my awareness. I'm listening. I'm closely listening to my ears, to the frequency in my ears and in my head. And I don't try to name it or figure it out. I'm just absorbing. Just imagine you're just absorbing. You're not trying to listen in a way to respond. You're just aware. I'm just being aware. And now what you can do is you can reverse it and you can send out a signal through that signal. This takes a little bit of practice. So from my belly, I begin to generate. At the belly is where all of your emotional power lives, okay? Thoughts can help. We know that because your thinking can generate fear, right? And illness. Your thoughts, your ability to visualize can also create feelings of love. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to create a vision of what am I most grateful for? And I'm super grateful right now to be on this astral journey where I'm in this boat. It's a beautiful morning. It's this pond. And I don't know where I am or what it is, but boy, does it feel cool. And I'm really grateful for that. And as I think about the gratitude, that's the thought. I take that thought down into my belly. And when it reaches my belly, I feel the thought. I read the thought with my gut. And what is that now? Now it's a vibrational energy in my belly. It has an emotion. Oh, it's beautiful and it's great and it's lovely. And now I'm letting go of the thought and I'm just feeling the beauty of the emotion, the vibration. Hold that. Hold the feeling and emotion there. And now, as you feel that emotion, I want you to begin to draw that energy, that vibration into your ears. And then I take a soft breath and I breathe up. And I bring it into my ears. I'm imagining my gut and my heart and my ears and brain are all connected. Everything's connected. Vertical column. And I'm beginning to send that loving energy into my own ear, into my own head. I can feel the beauty of it. And now that's changed the ringing, the vibration, the pitch. The pitch has changed. It's a higher pitch. It's moving. And now I'm having awarenesses. It's showing me like Valentine's Day. It's showing me lots of hearts and there's Cupid and red hearts and chocolates. And now Mary's on my boat with me. She's on my little boat and we're in the middle. We're in the middle of this little lake and I begin to serenade her. I'm playing what appears to be a little ukulele. And in this reality, I guess I can play a ukulele. And I'm singing to her. And it feels like we're in a scene from a movie of some sort. It's beautiful. Gosh, yes. I love her so much. I love everything so much. And so now you've transferred. So you're using the incoming energy, mixing it with energy you can cultivate. And what can happen is you can begin to have a vision, like I'm having a vision. There's a vision. This would be something maybe I'll get to do. Maybe I won't. Maybe I don't need to figure out what it means. I just have to experience it. And I'm cool with experiencing. I'm telling you about the experience because I'm trying to share, but I don't normally do that. I just allow myself to feel. It's a beautiful feeling. It's love. I can feel this beautiful love, a love for my wife and a love for nature and the water and the sound and the song. It's beautiful. So you can take yourself into these beautiful, beautiful places. And then what I do again is I bring my awareness to the sounds. Both of my ears are making sound, different kinds of sounds now. And I imagine I can breathe in through my ears, into my body and out through my ears, in through my ears, out through my ears, in through my ears, out through my ears, in, out, in, out, and relax. Woo. The angels are singing to us, everybody. So what I want you to do now is I want you to share your experience. If you were able to get in on that and you were able to alter your experience, I would love for you to share it with others, because more people need to find out about what this vibration, this frequency really is. There's so many people walking around. I actually have a client. One of my very first clients, as a matter of fact, as a life coach, healer kind of position, he actually showed up in my reality and he was telling me about his tinnitus, and that the tinnitus was so bad that he ended up going to a doctor, and they actually performed surgery to try to do something with his inner ear to stop it. Well, not only did it not stop it, it made it more so. It turned up the volume, and boy, was he miserable, because he just kept trying. I want it to go away. I want it to go away. And this man was from Belgium. And when he showed up with me, and we started to get into that, like, I was asking, where do you struggle in life, kind of thing, like how I ask any of my clients, why are you here? What do you need help for? And where are you struggling in life? And he was telling me about this. I don't know what to do anymore. I've done this, I've done that. I just let him kind of vent and talk about it for a little while. And then I said, well, did you ever consider the possibility that nothing's actually wrong? No. I was like, do you think it's a possibility? He's like, yeah, I guess so. And so we started to just work with that. And over the span of probably 10 sessions, it was over a year of work. He was seeing me monthly for a while. But we worked a lot with that. And as he allowed himself to relax and open up and be able to do kind of these exercises we're doing and drink in and make connection with the sound, he started to ascend. His spiritual awareness, his consciousness, his overall ideas of his health begin to change. I mean, slow, but very incrementally, very noticeably, he started to change. He started to be able to accept the frequency of his higher power, and it began to come into him. Another way I look at these is they're like trumpets of the angels. Sometimes I'll get a download. A download will come to me. I'll get some sort of information come in, and one of my ears, some sort of awareness pops up. And it's usually I'm getting some sort of communication. From my understanding, this has been something the ancients have always known. We just live in this westernized world of medicine where if you have a symptom and they don't know what to do with it, they categorize it and give it a, diagnosis. You have tinnitus. All right, well, sure. Tinnitus, what does that describe? It's ringing in the ears. Well, why do I have ringing in the ears? Well, we don't really know. Maybe there's crystals or something going around with the inner ear, which sometimes happens. Very rare, though. Very rare. It's so much more common that people with the ringing in the ears are actually receiving information. I know the difference right away because I can hear the information that's moving around. So when I'm with someone and I met people with hearing loss and they're telling me about the ringing in the ears, it's a little bit different, but that also can be molded and brought into information. Because the thing we're calling damage has changed the way that the perception of the organ's working. Doesn't mean that it's wrong. We're saying it's wrong. That's our judgment. God doesn't make any mistakes. The universe doesn't make junk. Let's see. Excellent parables. Thank you. Wow. Shaking makes the energy down my back. Absolutely. That was a fun exercise. I would love to hear some feedback if anybody has any. And while we kind of wait for that, I'm going to talk about, we have 3 events every week now. You can check those out on our website on Eventbrite. And what we're doing is every week I'm hosting a group class about meditation, manifestation, and then breath work and mindset. So it's more like a neurorespiratory therapy is what that is. Using a form of breath, using a form of mindset work. That's something I'm developing called neurorespiratory therapy. Also, these things are extremely powerful, and they're great for our community, great for building a community, because when we come together and use our energy together, this amplifies all of our abilities. So if like you're new to meditating and you want to expand your meditating, even if you're a seasoned meditator, you want to come into these groups because boy, are they interesting to connect with energetically. And then also manifestation. If you want to manifest and create more abundance and bring things into your life, group manifestation classes are just amazing. This is something we're all going to have to learn because humans are all meant to work together. Okay. Think in terms of a beehive, an ant hill, a school of fish, a flock of birds. This is also how humans must perform to get to our highest points, our highest levels. So meditation, sitting there being still and silent for a short period of time, good for all of us. Manifestation, learning how to focus and connect our energy into the field to get what we need from the world, to bring back in what we need from the world. Beautiful work, especially in the collective where all of our energies are working together. Breath work, mindset, super beautiful energy and spiritual work that happens there. Most people are under the impression that Zoom meetings aren't as powerful as in person, but they very much are, because energy doesn't know time or distance. That's an illusion created by our ego mind, by the 3D physical mind. There really is no separation because it's all one thing. It's all one wave of light. And this is how your intention into the world helps change the world. When you spend time every day breathing, connecting with the sound in your ears, sending being in the space of love, that radiates from you out into the world and affects everything, affects things remotely. I want to recommend a watching. The watching is called The One Field. What I would like you to watch is go on YouTube and look for The One Field. It's a wonderful documentary type of movie where they're using more and more modern scientific methods to measure human energy, measure intention and how it affects energy fields. So they can't measure my intention, but what they can measure is our energy field. They can measure the electromagnetic field that surrounds us that's generated by our heart. So that is, science can measure that. And then what they've been doing is doing tests where they have someone 3,000 miles away. They put people 3,000 miles apart, and then they have a person send intention from that remote location. And then they measure the person that's with the scientist. And as they measure them, they're able to see their energy field changes in harmony at the same time as the facilitator, who's thousands of miles away, is setting the intention to make change, to make healing. They had this one woman, they mapped out her electromagnetic field, her bubble, her aura, and there were some holes in it. There were some breaks in it. Common for most people. They don't know that there's breaks in the energy field. After, it was a yogi of some sort, sent his loving intentions to her over a period of probably an hour or so. Afterwards, they measured her field. It was completely filled in and alive. Okay. So there's lots of measurement. I know it goes further than that, deeper than that. I'm very much connected into the field around me. And what I like to see is now science beginning to catch up with what mysticism always knew. So it's called The One Field. Okay. The sound seemed more cohesive. Not sure how to explain that. That's perfect. It's exactly the idea, is to create coherence, non-resistance, and just an open understanding of whatever's happening. All Naui colors. Oh, nice. So it sounds like organically your chompy belts are trying to awaken. So that's what happens. The Nauis are eyes. So these are things I've taught you about in the tradition, in the shamanic tradition, and helped you to initiate and open. Later on, what happens is I'll weave the belts for you. I'm going to use those eyes, and as they become charged over your practice, I'll be able to do something that actually weaves your energy belts. And these are your chompy belts. And this is a very powerful form of energy medicine that's been passed down by Don Andres Espinosa, down into my teacher Zane, down into me and to the others, and then down into my progeny and protege. It's a very, very powerful tool. But this is what I think you're picking up, because mine started to come online organically until I had them actually woven, and then that changed everything. Very, very powerful. But cohesive, that's a word. Oh, hold on. I didn't see this one. I could see a lion jump on a boulder. I was on a savanna. When I opened my eyes, I could see the energy as light particles. Had lava lamp effect too. Taking in lots of beautiful energy, Jilly. I love it. I love it. Naui. Quechua is not really a written language, but if you do ever see the word Naui, it'll look like N-A-W, like Naw, and with an I. Naui. Naui. N-A-W-I. Naui. I should send you. I have some information about the Nauis. It's telling me that you're supposed to have. So, Jilly, I might send you a little download package to read today. I think you'll love it. All right. So what I want to do is I want to tell everybody to book a session at thepositivepineapple.org. We have some new lists of services, some amazing things. Try it out. Read kind of about what we're doing and what the work we does is about. We're just here to help people become their greatest possible self. So that could include, but is not limited to, potentially healing of the emotional mind, healing of the spiritual part of the being, healing of the physical parts of the body. All of that is included because you're three layers of one thing. You're a mind, you're a body, and you're a spirit. And the thing is true holistic health begins at treating the base of the human. Okay. It starts at the base. Your complete basis of in relationship with reality begins at your nervous system. Okay. This is so overlooked by people. This is not normally taught or talked about enough in the medical fields, because if you start to really learn your nervous system, you're not going to need doctors so much. I'm not anti-establishment. I'm not anti-Western medicine. I just know that the way it's designed doesn't really work for people with chronic illnesses. Okay. I'm not trying to cut anything down or say anything's bad. I'm saying there's other ways for us to heal. Some people, they're uncomfortable exploring new ways to heal and they wish to stay in the medical cycle. You may. I'm not here to talk down on anyone, hurt anyone, tell anyone they're supposed to stop taking their medications. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose or treat illness. I'm here to tell you that there's other possibilities to your life. Okay, that's what I'm here to do. That's one of my greatest gifts, is helping people open up potential and possibility. Asking questions. Ask yourself beautiful questions, right? Ask yourself, what's important to me? What am I grateful for today? Instead of, why is this like this? This should be some other way. Think about all the time you spend in your mind complaining, trying to make the reality different than it is instead of accepting. What happens if we move into acceptance and create beauty from there? This is what the true work that we do is helping us to reframe the way the mind's working, calibrate the way the mind is working in the field. This helps you to be able to process your emotions, be more aware of what's happening in your reality. It's brought me great gratitude, great success in all forms of my life. Okay. In all areas. I never thought I was going to ever be this healthy again. Years back when I was dying with lung disease, I had no idea that it was possible. Okay. But once I became aware that there's any possibility, that began to open something in me, right? Anything is possible. And so I just kind of continue with that. And as I continue down my journey, I keep feeling better. Everything keeps feeling more beautiful, more calm, more soft. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. So if you're interested and would like to change your life, and I work with people that have terrible disease, terrible mental problems, all the way to people that just are, say, in a corporate setting and want to improve their mindset to be more successful at work. All of those, all of that range I'm capable to work with. I do couples counseling, do marriage counseling, sex therapies, as well as family counseling. I can work with you and your children. It's all about communication. Sometimes it's all it takes someone to come in with a fresh idea, a fresh positive outlook to help you see some things that maybe you couldn't see before. So check us out. Check out the Positive Pineapple. Also, if you like what we're doing, help support our mission of healing. We need help. We need the help of the collective. Most of the work I do is free. I'm helping as many people as I can. I did, I think, 9 free sessions last week. Sessions last 2 to 3 hours. So I dedicated 27 hours last week of my time for free. So I want to know how many of you worked 27 hours at your job last week without pay. I doubt it. So I'm out here doing the best I can to help everybody because I love everybody. I want them to grow, but I need help. I can't do it all myself. I need you to help me. So if you could you please just make a small donation? That would be very helpful. And I thank you very much. Make it playful. Let's make it fun. Let's help each other. I want to thank you for your generous donations. All of you are wonderful, and I love you all so much. It's a beautiful day. Cool. Yeah, you're cool. All right, buddy. I think I'm going to skate up out of here. We're almost an hour. I want to thank you all so much for being here this morning for Ask the Shaman. This morning was a very interesting group where we got to talk about the sounds in your inner ear and tinnitus and what it may or may not be. If anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to reach out. Also, if you would like to adorn us with your beauty, you could leave a small testimonial. If you like what we're doing, if and somehow what we're doing or I'm doing here enriches your life, if you could share that with the world. Tell more people about the Positive Pineapple, about Anthony Golden Sunshine, about Mary the Sacred Owl, and tell them about what we're doing. Share this video, share some of my YouTube videos, tell some others about breath work, tell some other people about the events we do, bring some friends to our online events. Let's grow this community, okay? It's time. It's going to take you to change the world. I can't do it on my own. I need you too. We need each other. Good morning, Kelly Roach. I'm just about to sign off, Kelly, so I'm grateful that you've been here. Maybe you'll catch the replay. It was very interesting talking about tinnitus. Join us tonight for tonight's breathwork session online, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we also have some cool events coming up. We have Thursday, we'll be at Sacred Waters North Olmsted for a full moon breathwork and sound bath. Okay, Sacred Waters, the community's been growing. There's more and more people showing up. It's a nice, cool place to do some work, spiritual work. So bring some friends. Come check that out. Ice bath, mini retreat, Old Brooklyn Nutrition. That's Saturday the 27th, 1 to 4. I got a new small portable ice tub. I got one of the smaller 80, it's still pretty big. It's 85-gallon barrel. I'm not sure what it's made out of. I wouldn't say it's plastic. I don't think it's plastic, but I think it's polymer of some sort. This small dunking tub. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do our shamanic ice baths in there over at Old Brooklyn Nutrition. It's not just about an ice bath, and nobody has to take the ice bath. We'll be doing some body movement similar to Qigong. We'll be doing some breath work, some meditation, some energy work, and sound healing. And then if one wants to, could take a shamanic ice bath. It's a lot more like a baptism than anything else, I'd say. I make it very spiritual. I pray with the water. I set everything up. And I make it so when you get in that tub, you can release all of your old energy, all of your old stagnant, stale energy. The water drinks that up and turns it back into light. And then you can drink in the divine intelligence of the water, filling in. It's an exchange. Water is a very, very powerful spirit. You can do this also in the shower. When I'm in the shower, I like to use it to manifest because water can multiply energy, just like a crowd or a group can. So I recommend this when you're in the shower today. or whenever you take a shower, as the water runs down you, let it just run on your head, down your body, and let it just cover your body. And what you want to do is use your intention to use the water as like an amplifier. And what you're going to do is you're going to amplify your signals of gratitude out into the universe. Do the thing I showed you earlier. First, think of what you're grateful for. Let that energy of thought transform into feeling. And as that transforms into feeling and you become aware of it, begin to radiate it. Okay. So that's the true goal of our ascension. Most people don't understand that, is to become perfect absorbers and radiators of light. The better you become, because then that means you'll be able to, as you get better, you can take any energy, transmute it, and turn it into creation. That's why you always hear me say all energy is good energy when you know what to do with it. Okay. If you can process, if you're feeling heavy, if you're feeling someone else's heavy energy, you can process that energy. Heaviness wants to be fed to the earth, grounded. Light wants to proliferate within your cellular structures and grow from you. Okay. Those are just kind of minor ways I'm trying to describe shamanic ways of life, ways of living sacredly. That's another beautiful point I want to touch on, I guess, real quick, is living sacredly, treating everything very sacred. Like when I light my candle, it's very sacred. I'm lighting a candle. I'm using my intention to generate life, the life of fire within this candle. And then as the candle, I'm sitting here holding it, I can have so much appreciation and gratitude for it. I can feel its aliveness and how it's not separate from me. And I know what you're thinking. It's a candle. It's not alive. Everything's alive on a cellular level, on a atomic level. This is moving atoms that we're perceiving as solid. And when you become aware of its aliveness, everything has spirit and vibration. There's nothing that doesn't. And I like to take my time every day and just find things to hold. Here, I have a little teacup here that has some shavings in it. Actually, these are some I picked up. I was out, I found these near a tree, and what these are woodpecker shavings. A woodpecker pecked these out of a tree, and it said, take them with you. So they're part of my shamanic altar. I'm not sure why, but they told me to, my higher self told me to bring it. But I can sit here and I can feel this cup, its contents. I'm feeling it through my hands. I'm listening to it. You can stare at it if you want. I like to more see it through my mind. Smell it. And what you're doing is you don't have to like pray to it or make it something else. You're just really being with it. You're just allowing yourself to experience, to absorb. You could do it with something easy. You could use a pen. You use a pen and you can hold the pen. Take a moment, hold something in your room, hold it in your hands and just really feel it, feel about it, and share your gratitude with it. Right? These are beautiful practices for you to deepen your connection with source and with spirit. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. I love you all so much. I'm Anthony Golden Sunshine, and I'm here to tell you that I love you. And I love you just the way you are, because to me, you're perfect. Everything's perfect in creation for me. I love you all. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Tuesday, January the 23rd. I'll be back on Thursday for another episode. Bring your questions, please. Let me know how, if any of these practices you try over the next 2 days, come on back and share with everybody. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'm going to catch you later. Bye-bye.